I'm standing in my sister Brielle's living room, staring at the new lease agreement she just slid across her marble coffee table. The number jumps off the page, $8,000. My current rent is $2,500. She's tripling it. When I look up at her, she's smirking, arms crossed, looking exactly like Mom when she used to catch me sneaking cookies. Behind her, our parents nod approvingly. Dad clears his throat. Brielle's being more than fair, Alpha. Market rate in this neighborhood is even higher. You should be grateful. My mouth goes dry. Grateful? Brielle, I've been paying rent on time for 3 years. Never once late. Never a single complaint. How is tripling my rent fair? Brielle uncrosses her arms and picks up a folder from the side table. She opens it with the precision of someone who's been rehearsing this moment. I had a market analysis done. Comparable units in this neighborhood are renting for $7,000 to $9,000 per month. You're in a 2-bedroom with updated fixtures, hardwood floors, and a parking space. $8,000 is actually below market. Dad leans forward from the couch. Your sister has worked incredibly hard to build her real estate portfolio, Alpha. She deserves to profit from her investments. Mom nods, sipping her tea. You've been getting a family discount for years, honey. That can't last forever. Brielle has operating costs, maintenance, property taxes. This is a business. I look at each of them, feeling like I've stepped into an alternate reality. A family discount? Brielle, you raised my rent from $1,800 to $2,500 just last year. You said that was bringing it to market rate. Brielle shrugs, her smirk never wavering. The market changes, Alpha. Real estate is dynamic. If you can't afford it, there are plenty of people who can. I have a waiting list for this building. My heart pounds. Can I at least have some time to think about this? To figure out my finances? Brielle glances at her watch. A designer piece that probably cost more than 3 months of my old rent. You have 48 hours to sign the new lease, or give notice that you're vacating. I need to know so I can move forward with other tenants if necessary. 48 hours? That's not enough time to find a new place. That's not my problem. Brielle's voice goes cold. You're either a tenant or you're not. I can't hold the unit indefinitely while you make up your mind. Dad stands up, straightening his jacket. Alpha, you're being unreasonable. Brielle is running a business, not a charity. If you refuse to support your own sister's success, what does that say about you? Mom sets down her teacup with a delicate clink. We raised you better than this. Brielle worked so hard to buy that building. She took a huge risk, and now it's paying off. You should be happy for her, not acting entitled. The word entitled stings like a slap. I've never asked them for anything. I put myself through design school with scholarships and part-time jobs. I built my freelance graphic design business from nothing. I've been independent since I was 22, and I'm 31 now, but somehow, not wanting my rent tripled makes me entitled. I'm not acting entitled, I say quietly. I'm just trying to understand how we got here. Brielle, when you bought this building 3 years ago, you asked me to move in. You said it would be great to have family in the building, that it would help you get started. I trusted you. Brielle's expression doesn't change. And I've given you 3 years of below-market rent. I think we're even, don't you? I leave their house feeling dizzy. The drive back to my apartment takes 20 minutes, and I spend the entire time doing mental math. My freelance design work brings in about $5,500 a month on average. After taxes, health insurance, and business expenses, I net around $4,000. $8,000 rent is impossible. Even with cutting every other expense to the bone, I'd be underwater by $3,000 every month. Back in my apartment, I pull up my banking app. I have $12,000 in savings. It took me 5 years to build that cushion. If I signed Brielle's lease, I'd burn through my entire safety net in 2 months. And then I'd be broke and still locked into a lease I couldn't afford. I spend the evening searching apartment listings. Everything affordable is either in a dangerous neighborhood or has a waiting list 3 months long. Everything else requires income verification, showing I make 3 times the monthly rent. With my fluctuating freelance income, that's tricky even for reasonable apartments. I barely sleep. The next morning, I'm at my computer by 6, working on a project for my biggest client, a marketing firm called Velocity Creative. They provide about 40% of my annual income. It's a stable relationship, 2 years strong, and they've been talking about expanding my role. At 9:30, my phone rings. It's Jessica, the creative director at Velocity. Hey Jessica, I was just about to send you the mock-ups for the campaign. Alpha. Her voice is strained. I need to talk to you about something. This is really uncomfortable. My stomach drops. What's wrong? We're going to have to terminate our contract, effective immediately. The room tilts. What? Why? Did I do something wrong? I've never missed a deadline. If there's an issue with my work, I can fix it. Jessica sighs. It's not about the quality of your work. We received some concerning information about reliability issues and missed deadlines. We can't risk having an unreliable contractor on our major campaigns. Missed deadlines? Jessica, I've literally never missed a deadline with you. Not once. Check your records. I know your past record is clean, which is why this is so hard. But we can't ignore information from someone who knows you personally. My blood runs cold. Who told you this? I can't say. It was a family member who called out of concern. They seemed genuinely worried about you. Look, Alpha, if you're going through something personal, I hope you get the help you need, but we have to protect our business. Jessica, please, this is a misunderstanding. Someone is lying about me. I'm sorry. The decision is final. I'll have accounting send your final payment for the work you've completed. Take care of yourself. She hangs up. I sit there, phone in my hand, feeling like the floor has disappeared beneath me. 40% of my income, gone. Just like that. I know who made that call. There's only one person who would benefit from destroying my professional reputation right now. I pull up my text messages and type furiously to Brielle. Did you call my client? Did you tell Velocity Creative I was unreliable? The response comes within seconds. It's a screenshot. My throat closes as I read it. The screenshot shows a conversation thread, apparently from Brielle's phone. It's messages to multiple people. Jessica at Velocity Creative, Marcus at Design Hub, Linda at Riverstone Marketing, and Paul at Tech Innovations. All of my major clients. The messages are variations of the same theme. Hi, this is Alpha Henderson's sister. I'm reaching out because I'm concerned about Alpha's recent behavior. She's been extremely unreliable lately, missing commitments and deadlines. I know she works with your company, and I felt it was important to give you a heads up. She's going through some personal issues and may not be able to fulfill her professional obligations. I hope you understand why I felt I needed to reach out. I care about my sister, but I also don't want her issues to hurt your business. Below the screenshot, Brielle has typed a new message. Sign the lease, or I'll make sure you can't work in this city. Your choice, little sister. I'm shaking so hard I almost dropped my phone. This isn't just about rent anymore. Brielle is actively sabotaging my entire livelihood. She's weaponizing my career against me. I try to think clearly through the panic. If I leave the apartment, Brielle wins, but at least the sabotage might stop. But if I leave, where do I go? And what if she doesn't stop? What if she's decided to destroy me regardless? If I stay and somehow find a way to pay the rent, I'll be trapped in a financial nightmare while Brielle holds all the power. I'm cornered, and my own sister designed the trap. I don't sleep that night either. By sunrise, I've consumed an entire pot of coffee and filled a notebook with apartment listings. I start calling as soon as 9 o'clock hits. The first landlord sounds interested until I mention the address of my current apartment. Oh, you live in one of Brielle Henderson's buildings? How's that going? I'm looking to move, I say carefully. I see. His tone cools. You know what? I just remembered. We actually have someone else looking at the unit today. I'll call you if it doesn't work out. He doesn't call. The second apartment seems perfect. It's 40 minutes from my current place, but the rent is $3,200 and it allows my cat. The landlord, an older woman named Carol, seems friendly over the phone. We schedule a viewing for that afternoon. I arrive 15 minutes early. Carol is already there, but her body language has changed. She's stiff, uncomfortable. I'm so sorry, she says before I even reach the door. The unit was just rented this morning. This morning? But we had an appointment. The other applicant offered 6 months rent up front. I couldn't turn that down. I nod, defeated, and turn to leave. Wait, Carol says. She looks conflicted. Look, I don't usually do this, but you seem like a nice person. Are you Alpha Henderson? My stomach sinks. Yes. There's a private Facebook group for landlords in the metro area. Over 300 members. Someone posted about you a few days ago. Warning that you're difficult, likely to withhold rent, possibly litigious. I'm sorry, but I can't take that risk. Most landlords in the area have seen that post. Who posted it? But I already know the answer. I drive straight to my best friend Justine's office. She's a real estate agent, successful and connected. If anyone can help me navigate this nightmare, it's her. Justine meets me in a conference room, her expression worried. Alpha, what's going on? You sounded frantic on the phone. I explain everything. Brielle tripling the rent, the client sabotage, the impossible apartment search. Justine listens, her face growing paler. When I finish, she pulls out her phone. I need to show you something. I saw this a few days ago and thought about calling you, but I wasn't sure if I should get involved in family stuff. She opens Facebook and navigates to a private group called Metro Area Property Owners Network. The post is dated 3 days ago. Heads up, fellow landlords. Watch out for a tenant named Alpha Henderson. She's currently in one of my properties and has been a nightmare. Multiple noise complaints, deliberately damaged property, threatened legal action over minor maintenance issues. She's now looking for a new place and will likely lie about her rental history. She's vindictive and will make your life hell. Just wanted to give everyone a warning. Stay safe out there. Brielle Henderson, Henderson Property Management. The post has 47 comments. Landlords thanking Brielle for the heads up. Someone saying they almost rented to me yesterday but saw the post in time. Another person sharing their own nightmare tenant story. I feel sick. Justine, none of that is true. I've never had a noise complaint. I've never damaged anything. I've never threatened to sue anyone. I know, Justine says quietly. I know you, Alpha, but they don't. And in that group, landlords trust each other's warnings. It's how they protect themselves from problem tenants. So I'm blacklisted? Just like that? In this metro area? Pretty much. You might find someone who isn't in the group, but it's the biggest landlord network around. Your best bet might be looking in a different city entirely. I drive to my parents' house. I need them to see what Brielle is doing. I need someone in my family to believe me. Mom answers the door, and I see Brielle's car in the driveway. Of course she's here. Alpha, what a surprise, Mom says. Come in, honey. Brielle is sitting at the kitchen table with Dad, showing them something on her laptop. They're laughing about something. The scene is so normal, so wholesome, that I almost turn around and leave. Alpha, Dad says, noticing me. Did you come to apologize to your sister? Apologize? Dad, I came to show you what she's been doing to me. I pull out my phone and start showing them the Facebook post, the screenshot of messages to my clients, everything. Brielle's face shifts from surprise to hurt. Alpha, why are you lying? I never sent those messages. It's a screenshot from your phone. Anyone can fake a screenshot. Alpha, I'm really worried about you. This paranoia isn't healthy. Mom takes my phone and studies the screenshot. Honey, Brielle's right. This could be fabricated. People can make these things look real. Mom, I lost my biggest client yesterday because someone called them, claiming to be concerned about my reliability. Who else would do that? Dad's face darkens. Alpha, your sister wouldn't sabotage you. Your family. Then who did? Who else benefits from destroying my career and making sure I can't find another apartment? Brielle stands up, and I'm shocked to see tears in her eyes. I can't believe you'd accuse me like this. After everything I've done for you, I gave you below market rent for 3 years. I've been patient with you. And this is how you thank me? By making up lies? I'm not making anything up. Dad stands too. That's enough, Alpha. I think you should leave. You're taking her side? Without even investigating? There's nothing to investigate, Mom says firmly. Your sister has been nothing but generous with you. If you're having professional problems, that's on you. Don't blame Brielle for your failures. I'm about to argue more when Dad holds up his phone. Since we're sharing recordings, let me play something for you. He hits play. It's my voice. I'm going to destroy you, Brielle. I'm going to make sure you lose everything. You're going to regret ever crossing me. The room spins. That's not real. I never said that. That's fake, edited, AI, something. It sounds exactly like you, Mom says. Because it's designed to. Dad, you can't seriously believe I said that. Check the metadata, the file origin, anything. It's fabricated. But I can see in their faces that they do believe it. Or they want to believe it. Brielle is their golden child, the successful business owner, the one who made them proud. I'm just the freelancer who never quite measured up. I think you should leave, Dad says again, colder this time. And Alpha, if you continue harassing your sister, we'll have no choice but to cut you out of this family. Do you understand? I look at Brielle. She's crying, letting Mom comfort her, but I catch her eyes for just a second. She winks. I leave, slamming the door harder than I mean to. Back in my apartment, I try to work, but my hands won't stop shaking. 2 more clients email that afternoon. Design Hub and Riverstone Marketing, both terminating their contracts, both citing vague reliability concerns. My monthly income just dropped by 70%. I have about $4,000 coming in next month, barely enough to cover my current rent and expenses, let alone $8,000. I have 6 weeks of savings left at my current burn rate. 6 weeks to find a solution. That evening, I find the eviction notice slipped under my door. It's official, legal letterhead from Henderson Property Management. 30 days to vacate for lease violations, including excessive noise complaints and property damage. I read it 3 times, my vision blurring. I've never made excessive noise. I work from home in silence. My neighbors are a retired couple, who I help with their groceries. I walk through my apartment slowly, looking at everything with new eyes. And then I see them. Fresh scratches on the hardwood floor near the window, deep gouges that weren't there yesterday. A small hole in the living room wall, about fist-sized, hidden partially behind a plant. Someone was in my apartment. Someone created damage to justify the eviction. I check the deadbolt, the windows, everything. No signs of forced entry. But Brielle has the keys. She's the landlord. She can enter whenever she wants. I sink onto my couch, clutching the eviction notice. This isn't a conflict anymore. This is a systematic destruction. Brielle isn't just raising my rent or being difficult. She's orchestrating my complete professional and personal collapse. And she's doing it with surgical precision, backed by our parents' belief in her innocence. I have 30 days before I'm legally homeless. No income to speak of, no apartment prospects, no family support, and my own sister smiling while she burns my life down. I don't sleep for 2 days straight. My apartment feels like a cage. Every sound makes me jump, wondering if Brielle is coming back to plant more evidence. I work mechanically on the few small projects I have left, but my focus is shattered. On the 3rd morning, I'm packing. Not because I've found somewhere to go, but because I need to do something with my hands. I pull boxes from the storage closet and start with the things I rarely use. Books, old college textbooks, sentimental items. That's when I find my grandmother's box. It's wooden, cedar, about the size of a shoebox. Grandma Caroline died 4 years ago. I was closest to her out of all the grandkids. She understood me in a way my parents never did. She'd been an artist before arthritis took her hands, and she always encouraged my design work. At her funeral, she'd left specific items for specific people. Brielle got the bulk of the estate, about $80,000 and Grandma's house. I got this box. I sit on my bedroom floor and open it carefully. Inside are photos of Grandma and me throughout my childhood. Letters she wrote me during college. A pressed flower from her garden. And at the bottom, a sealed envelope I've never noticed before. The envelope is thick, cream-colored, with my name written in Grandma's shaky handwriting. Below my name, she's written, "Open if you're ever in serious trouble." My hands tremble as I break the seal. The letter is dated 3 weeks before she died, written in the same shaky script. My dearest Alpha, if you're reading this, something has gone very wrong. I hoped you'd never need to open this envelope, but I know my granddaughters, and I know how the world works. Brielle has many gifts, but kindness isn't one of them. I saw it when she was young, that cold calculation in her eyes when she wanted something, the way she'd smile while hurting others. I tried to correct it, but your parents saw what they wanted to see, a confident, ambitious daughter. They never saw the cruelty underneath. I left Brielle the money and the house publicly because I knew she'd cause problems if I didn't. Let her think she won. But Alpha, I left you something more valuable. Do you remember the apartment building at 428 Maple Street? The one with the brick facade and the garden courtyard? I bought that building 23 years ago as an investment. It's been in my portfolio, managed quietly, generating income. 3 years ago, I transferred ownership to you through a trust. It's yours, Alpha, the entire building. But I structured the trust carefully so it wouldn't activate until you turned 30 or until you faced a serious crisis involving Brielle, whichever came first. I knew Brielle would eventually show her true nature. I'm sorry I won't be there to protect you, but I can give you this. The trust attorney is Harold Pritchard. His business card is in this box. Call him. The code word is Blackbird. He's been holding all the documentation, waiting for you. Brielle thinks she owns that building. I sold it to her on paper, yes, but the sale was structured as a trust that would revert to you. She's been collecting rent for 3 years, thinking she's building an empire. Every dollar has been going into an escrow account that you now control. Use this wisely, my darling girl. Fight back. Brielle needs to learn that cruelty has consequences. I love you more than words can express. Grandma, I read the letter 3 times, 4 times. My brain struggles to process it. 428 Maple Street. That's this building, my building. The building I'm being evicted from. I dump the rest of the box onto the floor, searching frantically. The business card is tucked into a small envelope. Harold Pritchard, attorney at law. Below the address and phone number, someone has written in pencil, Blackbird. I grab my phone with shaking hands and dial the number. It rings twice. Pritchard Law Office. This is Harold speaking. My name is Alpha Henderson. My grandmother was Caroline Henderson. Blackbird. The line goes silent for a moment. Then, Alpha. I've been waiting for your call. How much trouble are you in? A lot. A lot of trouble. Can you come to my office today? I think we need to talk in person. I have quite a bit to explain. I'm in his office within an hour. Harold Pritchard is in his 60s, with kind eyes and a firm handshake. His office is lined with law books and has a view of the downtown skyline. Your grandmother was a remarkable woman, he says, gesturing for me to sit. She planned this very carefully. Is it real? Do I really own the building? You do. As of your 30th birthday last year, the trust activated and full ownership transferred to you. The deed is in your name, filed with the county. The building is yours, free and clear. I feel like I might pass out. Brielle thinks she owns it. Yes, Caroline sold the building to Brielle 3 years ago for $1, but the sale was contingent on a trust clause that Brielle's attorney either didn't understand or didn't explain properly. The trust stipulated that ownership would revert to you under specific conditions. Those conditions were met on your 30th birthday. So Brielle has been collecting rent illegally? Technically, yes. She's been collecting rent as if she owns the property, but she doesn't. All of that money has been deposited into accounts that appear to be hers, but are actually part of the trust escrow. You now have access to those funds. How much money? Harold opens a folder and shows me statements. My eyes blur looking at the numbers. Approximately $530,000. That's 3 years of rent collection from all 12 units, minus legitimate expenses like maintenance and property taxes, which were paid from the escrow as per the trust terms. I can't breathe. $500,000, plus the building itself, which is valued at approximately $3.2 million. You're quite wealthy, Alpha. It's too much. My brain can't hold it all. Why didn't you contact me before? Caroline's instructions were very specific. I was not to reach out to you until you contacted me first. She wanted you to discover this yourself, at a moment when you truly needed it. She believed that if I contacted you when things were fine, you might not understand the gift she was giving you. What do I do now? Harold's expression grows serious. That's where things get complicated. Brielle took out a mortgage against the building 18 months ago, $800,000 from First National Bank. Since she didn't actually own the building, that mortgage is fraudulent. My stomach drops. Fraudulent? What does that mean? It means Brielle committed bank fraud. She represented herself as the legal owner of a property she didn't own, and she secured a loan based on that false representation. That's a federal crime. She'll go to prison? If the bank presses charges, and the DA pursues it, yes, it's very serious. I should feel triumph, but instead, I feel sick. What happens to the money she borrowed? The bank will want it back immediately. All $800,000, plus fees and penalties. When they discover the fraud, they'll demand full repayment. Brielle will be financially destroyed, and she'll likely face criminal prosecution. I sit there, processing. I have the power to destroy my sister completely, not just win, but obliterate her. What should I do? Harold leans back in his chair. That's not a legal question, Alpha. That's a personal one. You have options. You could quietly claim the building and let Brielle discover she never owned it, then walk away. Or you could report the fraud and pursue full legal action. The choice is yours. How long do I have to decide? There's no rush from a legal standpoint. But the longer you wait, the more complicated things could become. And if you're facing eviction from a property you actually own, you might want to establish your ownership sooner rather than later. I'm about to respond when my phone buzzes. It's Brielle calling. I answer. What? Just checking in on my favorite tenant. Her voice drips with false sweetness. Have you thought about my offer? Minimum wage job, $6,000 a month rent? I need an answer by end of day. The job offer. In my panic, I'd forgotten. Brielle offered to let me work for her property management company for minimum wage while paying her $6,000 a month in rent. Essentially, she'd pay me about $1,600 a month, and I'd immediately give her $6,000 back. I'd be working for her while paying her to work for her. I'm thinking about it, I say carefully. Don't think too long. Offer expires at 5 o'clock. After that, the eviction stands, and I'll make sure you never work in this city again. She pauses. Oh, and Alpha? I'm closing on another building next week. 4 units downtown. Prime location. I'll own half the rental market in this area soon. You'll never escape me. The casual cruelty in her voice, the certainty that she's won, makes my decision for me. I'll let you know by 5, I say, and hang up. I look at Harold. I want to do this. All of it. File everything. Establish my ownership. Report the fraud. All of it. Are you sure? This will destroy your relationship with your sister, possibly your whole family. She's already destroyed my relationship with my family. She's turned them against me. She's sabotaging my career. She's trying to make me homeless. And she just told me she's expanding her empire so I'll never escape. This isn't about revenge. This is about stopping her. Harold nods slowly. Then, let's get started. I'll need a few days to file all the paperwork and notify the relevant parties. Can you hold on that long? How many days? 10, maybe 12. The court system moves slowly, but I can expedite some things. Brielle's party is in 9 days. She's throwing a big celebration for her real estate success. Harold's eyes glint. Is she now? Well, that's interesting timing. Can we make sure everything is filed before then? Can we make sure she finds out at the party? Alpha, are you sure you want to do it that way? It will be very public. She's been publicly humiliating me. She tried to destroy my reputation publicly. She posted about me in a landlord group with 300 people. Yeah, I want to do it publicly. Harold starts pulling documents from his files. Then we'll need to move quickly. I'll file the ownership transfer documents first thing tomorrow morning. The deed needs to be officially recorded with the county. Once that's done, you'll be the legal owner on public record, and Brielle will have no legal standing at all. What about the fraud? I'll prepare a report for the bank and the DA's office. That will take a few more days. But we can time everything to go public around the same time. I spend the next 3 hours in Harold's office, signing documents, reviewing trust papers, and building a legal strategy. By the time I leave, it's almost dark, and I feel like I've aged 10 years. That night, I text Brielle. I'll take the job. 6,000 rent, I'll sign everything tomorrow. Her response is immediate. Smart choice. See you at 9 a.m. at the office. I'm not being smart. I'm being strategic. Let her think she won. Let her celebrate her victory for one more week. Then I'll take it all away. I show up at Brielle's property management office at exactly 9 o'clock the next morning. The office is small, just 3 rooms in a strip mall, but Brielle's decorated it to look expensive. Glass desk, modern art on the walls, fresh flowers. There are 3 other employees. A middle-aged woman named Tracy who handles bookkeeping, a younger guy named Kyle who does maintenance, and another woman around my age named Emma who manages tenant relations. They all look at me with poorly disguised pity. Brielle hands me a contract. 20 pages of fine print establishing me as an hourly employee at $12 an hour, 30 hours per week. There's also a new lease, $6,000 per month, 1-year term, with a clause saying, I'll be evicted immediately if my employment is terminated. I sign both without reading them carefully. They're meaningless. I don't own the company, but I do own the building. None of this has any legal weight. Welcome to the team, Brielle says with a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. Tracy will show you your duties. My duties, it turns out, are every unpleasant task Brielle can think of. I clean the toilets in the building's common areas. I take out trash from all 12 units every Tuesday and Friday. I answer the tenant complaint line, which means listening to people yell about leaky faucets and noisy neighbors. Tracy pulls me aside after lunch. Honey, I'm sorry about this. I don't know what's going on between you and Brielle, but this isn't right. It's fine, I say. Family stuff. Family or not, nobody should treat someone like this. But Tracy doesn't intervene. None of them do. They need their jobs, and Brielle signs the paychecks. On my 3rd day of work, Brielle announces she's taking our parents to lunch. An expensive place downtown. And I'm coming along as her assistant. Bring the portfolio, she says, handing me a leather binder, and my laptop, and get me a coffee before we go. Oat milk, 2 pumps vanilla. I do it all without complaint. At the restaurant, a place with white tablecloths and a sommelier, I stand behind Brielle's chair while she and our parents sit. I'm literally serving them, bringing papers when Brielle snaps her fingers, fetching water refills, holding Brielle's laptop open so she can show Dad something. Mom watches this with approval. It's good to see Alpha learning some responsibility. Dad nods. This will teach her the value of hard work. Maybe she'll appreciate what she has more. Brielle smirks at me. Alpha's been very cooperative, haven't you? Yes, I say through clenched teeth. That evening, I meet with Harold at a coffee shop 3 towns over, far from anywhere Brielle might see us. The deed is filed, he says quietly. As of this afternoon, you are the official owner of record for 428 Maple Street. Anyone who runs a property search will see your name, not Brielle's. Has she noticed? Probably not. Most people don't randomly check property records for buildings they think they own. But it's public information now. If she looks, she'll find it. What about the bank? I've prepared the fraud report. I'm meeting with the bank's legal department and the DA's office on Monday. That's 4 days from now. Once I deliver that report, things will move very quickly. The party is Saturday, 8 days from now. Harold nods. Everything will be filed and official by then. The bank will likely freeze Brielle's accounts on Monday or Tuesday once they understand the situation. The DA might move more slowly, but the civil consequences will be immediate. And there's no way she can stop it? Once you file the fraud report? No way at all. The evidence is ironclad. She took out a loan secured by property she didn't own. That's textbook fraud. I sip my coffee, thinking, Harold, can we let her have the party? Can we wait until Saturday night to let her find out? You really want to do this publicly? She's been humiliating me for weeks. She posted lies about me online. She destroyed my career. She's making me clean toilets while she takes our parents to fancy lunches. Yeah, I want her to find out publicly. Harold considers this. I can arrange that. I'll file everything on Monday, but I'll request that official notifications be delayed until Saturday evening. It's unusual, but not impossible. I'll tell them we're gathering additional evidence and want to ensure Brielle doesn't destroy records. Perfect. Over the next week, I play my role perfectly. I'm the humble, defeated little sister, grateful for the chance to work minimum wage while paying half my earnings back in rent. I clean toilets. I answer complaint calls from tenants. I take verbal abuse from Brielle about my work quality. Tracy pulls me aside twice more, both times offering sympathy. Kyle, the maintenance guy, brings me coffee one morning without saying anything, just sets it on the desk next to where I'm sorting mail. Even Emma, who usually avoids conflict, tells me quietly that she thinks I'm handling everything with grace. They have no idea what's coming. On Friday, 5 days before the party, Brielle calls a staff meeting. "I'm throwing a party tomorrow night," she announces, celebrating the company's success. "I'm closing on another building next week, expanding our portfolio. It's going to be a great event. Lots of important people from the real estate community." She looks directly at me. "Alpha, you'll be coordinating the whole thing. Catering, setup, decorations, everything. I need it perfect." "Of course," I say. She hands me a list that's 3 pages long. Specific caterers, specific decorations, a specific layout for the courtyard at the building. She wants 50 chairs, a small stage with a microphone, a bar station, and uplighting on the building's facade. It's an enormous amount of work for one person to complete in 8 days. That's the point. She wants me to fail, or to succeed through misery. I do neither. I hire professionals and pay them with my own money, what little I have left. The party will be perfect, but not because of my labor, because I'm buying Brielle enough rope to hang herself. 6 days before the party, I'm at the building doing a walkthrough for the caterer when my phone rings. It's my father. "Alpha, come to Brielle's office now." His tone makes my blood run cold. "What's wrong?" "Just get here." I drive there in 15 minutes, my mind racing. Do they know? Did someone tip them off? Did Brielle somehow discover the property records? When I arrive, both my parents are in Brielle's office. They look furious. Brielle looks triumphant. "Sit down," Dad says. I sit. "Brielle has shown us something very disturbing," Mom says. "She discovered that you've been attempting to access the company's bank accounts, trying to steal money." My stomach flips. That's not true. Brielle turns her laptop around. The screen shows a bank login page with several failed login attempts. The IP address listed matches my apartment's internet connection. "This is from yesterday," Brielle says. "Someone using your internet tried to log into our business account 5 times. The bank flagged it and notified me." "I didn't do that. I don't even know your bank account information." "The IP address doesn't lie," Brielle says softly. "I realize what happened. She's in my apartment regularly. She has keys. She used my internet connection to create this evidence." "Alpha, we're giving you one last chance," Dad says. "You can leave town, completely. Move to another state, cut contact with this family, or we press charges for attempted theft and fraud. You'll go to prison," Mom adds. Her voice breaks slightly. "Please don't make us do that to our own daughter." Brielle leans back in her chair, arms crossed. "I'll give you 24 hours to decide. After that, I'm calling the police and our lawyer." "You should have just paid the rent," Brielle adds as I stand to leave. "This all could have been avoided." I walk out, get in my car, and drive aimlessly for an hour. I end up at Harold's office without planning to. "She's framing me," I tell him, explaining about the bank login attempts. Harold listens, his expression grave. "This complicates things. If she files charges, there will be an investigation. That could freeze the trust assets while everything gets sorted out. Can she really do that?" "She can try. The evidence is circumstantial, but criminal investigations have a way of muddying water. Even if the charges are eventually dropped, it could take months. The party is in 6 days." "I know, but Alpha, if she files charges before then, everything gets more complicated. The DA might want to freeze all assets related to both of you while they investigate. That could include the building, the escrow funds, everything." I feel the trap closing again, so I'm back to where I started. She's going to destroy me no matter what I do. Not necessarily. Harold pulls up something on his computer. The ownership transfer is already complete and public. She can't undo that. And the fraud report is ready to file. I'm meeting with the bank on Monday regardless. The question is whether we accelerate everything or stick to the timeline? What do you recommend? Honestly, call her bluff. If she actually files charges, we counter immediately with the fraud evidence. It proves motive for why she'd frame you. The DA won't pursue charges against you when we can show she's been committing federal bank fraud. But if we reveal everything now, she doesn't get to have her party. She doesn't get to celebrate her success in front of everyone. I think about it. What if she doesn't file charges? What if this is just another threat to control me? Then we stick to the plan. Saturday night, at her party, we reveal everything. That's a huge gamble. It is, Harold agrees. But you've been gambling this whole time. One more bet. I drive back to my apartment. Brielle is waiting outside, leaning against her car. Made a decision? She asks. I need more time. You have until tomorrow at noon. After that, I'm making the call. She drives away, and I stand there in the parking lot, wondering if I'm about to lose everything because I wanted a dramatic reveal instead of just taking the win. That night, I barely sleep. By morning, I've made my decision. I text Brielle. I'll leave town. Give me until after your party to get my things in order. I'll be gone by Sunday. Her response. Fine. But if you're still here Monday morning, the charges get filed. Have a nice life, Alpha. She thinks she won. Again. In 5 days, she'll learn otherwise. The next 5 days are the longest of my life. I move through them in a haze, preparing for a party that will either be my vindication or my final humiliation. I arrange everything Brielle demanded. The caterer, a high-end company that costs $3,000 for 50 people. White chairs arranged in neat rows facing a small stage. A bar station with top-shelf liquor. Uplighting that makes the building's brick facade glow. String lights in the courtyard garden. A sound system for Brielle's speech. I pay for most of it myself, draining the last of my savings. $600 left in my checking account. Enough for gas money to leave town, if it comes to that. Brielle inspects everything on Friday afternoon, the day before the party. She walks through the courtyard with a clipboard, Tracy trailing behind her taking notes. The chairs are half an inch too far apart, Brielle says. Fix it. I spend an hour adjusting 50 chairs. The uplighting is too yellow. I wanted pure white. I call the lighting company and pay an extra $200 for them to come back and adjust the color temperature. The bar needs to be 6 feet to the left. That'll block the path to the garden. I don't care. Move it. Tracy watches all of this with increasing discomfort. When Brielle goes inside to check on something, Tracy touches my arm. Alpha, why are you doing this? You don't owe her anything. Just leave. I need to see this through, I say. What Tracy doesn't know is that while I'm moving chairs and adjusting lights, Harold is filing the final pieces of paperwork. The fraud report goes to the bank's legal department on Friday morning. The DA's office receives their copy Friday afternoon. Both have agreed to hold all official action until Saturday evening, per Harold's request. He told them, "We're concerned about Brielle destroying evidence if she gets advance notice." It's all true. And it's also strategic. Friday night, I get a call from Harold. Everything's filed. The bank is very interested. They've already started their internal investigation. The DA's office is reviewing the evidence. Both have confirmed they'll wait until tomorrow evening to make contact with Brielle, but after that, things will move fast. How fast? The bank will likely freeze her accounts by Monday morning. The DA might issue a warrant, might just bring her in for questioning. Hard to say. But her life is about to get very complicated. And there's no way this backfires on me? Alpha, you're the victim here. You own the building. She's been committing fraud. Even if she tries to file charges against you, they'll fall apart once the truth comes out. I want to believe him. I have to believe him. Saturday afternoon, the day of the party, I arrive at the building at 2 o'clock to supervise final setup. The caterer is arranging food tables. The bar station is being stocked. Everything looks elegant and expensive. Brielle shows up at 4 o'clock with our parents. She's wearing a designer dress, hair, and makeup professionally done. She looks like success. It looks acceptable, she tells me. Make sure you're out of sight during the party. I don't want you embarrassing me in front of my guests. Of course. Mom gives me a sad look. You're leaving tomorrow? Yes, I leave. It's for the best, Dad says gruffly. Fresh start, new city. You'll thank us eventually. I nod, not trusting myself to speak. Guests start arriving at 6:30. I watch from a second-floor window as people fill the courtyard. I recognize some faces from Brielle's social media: real estate agents, property managers, landlords, business associates. There are also extended family members, aunts and uncles I haven't seen in years. Brielle works the crowd like a politician, shaking hands, laughing, accepting congratulations. Someone gives her flowers. Another person hands her a bottle of champagne. At 7 o'clock, Brielle steps onto the small stage and takes the microphone. The crowd quiets. Thank you all so much for coming tonight, she begins. Her voice is confident, warm. 3 years ago, I took a leap of faith and bought my first building. Everyone said I was crazy, that I was too young, that real estate was too risky. But I believed in myself. And that belief paid off. The crowd applauds. Brielle beams. This building was just the beginning. I've worked hard, made smart decisions, and built something I'm proud of. And next week, I'm closing on another property downtown. 4 units, prime location. My company is growing, and I couldn't be more excited about the future. More applause. Dad is recording on his phone, tears in his eyes. I want to thank my parents for their support, Brielle continues. And I want to talk about family for a moment, about tough love and hard lessons. My stomach clenches. She's going to do it. She's going to publicly humiliate me. My sister Alpha has been struggling recently. Personal issues, professional problems, some poor decisions. It's been hard to watch, but I believe in giving people chances. I've tried to help her, even when she made it difficult. Even when she made choices I didn't agree with. The crowd murmurs sympathetically. Alpha was living in this building, and I had to make a tough call. She couldn't afford market rate rent, and I couldn't keep subsidizing her lifestyle. I offered her opportunities to work, to prove herself, but she chose a different path. She'll be leaving tomorrow to start over somewhere else. I'm sad about it, but I respect her decision. Sometimes family has to let go. I'm shaking with rage. She's rewriting history for 50 people, making herself the benevolent sister and me, the failure who couldn't get it together. So tonight is bittersweet, Brielle says. I'm celebrating success, but also saying goodbye to my little sister. If you see her around, please be kind. She's going through a lot. The crowd looks touched. A few people wipe their eyes. Brielle has positioned herself perfectly. The successful sister, generous to a fault, heartbroken, but moving forward. Mom is crying. Dad is nodding approval. This is it. This is the moment. I text Harold. Now. Brielle continues her speech. I've learned so much on this journey. About business, about real estate, about family. And the biggest lesson is this. You have to work for what you want. Nobody hands you success. You have to earn it. I walk down the stairs and out into the courtyard. People notice me, stepping aside uncomfortably. I walk straight to the stage. Brielle sees me approach. Her expression flickers with annoyance, then settles back into false sympathy. Alpha, I was just talking about you. Did you want to say something to everyone? I take the microphone from her hand. She resists for a second, surprised, then lets go. Yes, I say to the crowd. I do want to say something. Brielle steps back, uncertain. She's trying to figure out if this is an ambush or if I'm about to apologize publicly like she hopes. Thank you all for coming tonight, I start. My voice is steadier than I expected. My sister is right about one thing. Tonight is about honesty. So let me be completely honest with all of you. I pull folded documents from my jacket pocket. 3 years ago, my grandmother Carolyn died. She was a smart woman, a careful woman, and she knew exactly what kind of person Brielle was. The crowd is silent, confused. Brielle's face goes pale. Grandma Caroline owned this building. Did you know that, Brielle? She bought it 23 years ago, and 3 years ago she put it in a trust. A very specific trust that transferred ownership to me on my 30th birthday. I hold up the documents. This is the deed to 428 Maple Street, the official deed, filed with the county. It has my name on it. Because this building, the one we're standing in right now, The one my sister has been collecting rent from for 3 years? It's mine. It's been mine since I turned 30 last year. The crowd erupts in confused murmurs. Brielle grabs for the microphone, but I step away. Brielle has been collecting rent as a fake landlord for 3 years. Every dollar you paid her, every lease she signed, all of it was fraudulent. She doesn't own this building. She never owned this building. Harold steps forward from where he's been standing in the back of the crowd. My name is Harold Pritchard. I'm the trust attorney for the Caroline Henderson estate. Everything Alpha just said is accurate and documented. The building belongs to Alpha. Brielle finds her voice. This is insane. Alpha is lying. She forged those documents. I didn't forge anything, I say calmly. Every document is authentic, filed with the county, available for anyone to verify. The sale Grandma made to you was conditional on a trust that reverted ownership to me. Check the public records yourself. Several people are already pulling out phones. But that's not even the most interesting part, I continue. Brielle took out a mortgage on this building 18 months ago. $800,000 from First National Bank. But you can't mortgage a property you don't own. That's bank fraud. Federal bank fraud. Brielle's face goes from pale to gray. As of yesterday afternoon, the bank and the DA's office have been notified. They've reviewed the evidence. By Monday morning, there will be an investigation, possibly criminal charges. The crowd is backing away from the stage now, from Brielle. Several people are leaving entirely, wanting no association with what's happening. I look directly at my parents. This building is mine. The rent Brielle collected is mine. All of it is sitting in an escrow account that I now control. About $530,000. Every lease Brielle signed was invalid. Every tenant she brought in was lied to. Mom is frozen, documents in her hand that someone handed her. Dad is reading them, his face crumbling. For the past 3 weeks, Brielle has been sabotaging my career, destroying my professional reputation, trying to make me homeless. She posted lies about me in landlord groups. She called my clients and got me fired. She planted evidence in my apartment to justify evicting me from a building I actually own. She made me work minimum wage cleaning toilets while she collected rent on my property. I turned to Brielle. You said I should have just paid the rent, but it was my building. You were paying me rent, Brielle. You just didn't know it. Brielle's mouth opens and closes. No sound comes out. I'm giving all the tenants in this building a full year's rent refund. It's coming out of the escrow account, the money you collected illegally. And I'm notifying the bank about the fraudulent mortgage on Monday morning, though I think they're already ahead of me. A woman in the crowd, one of the real estate professionals, speaks up. Is this really true? Can we verify this? Check the county property records, Harold says. Search for 428 Maple Street. You'll find it's registered to Alpha Henderson as of last year. Several people are already doing exactly that. I can see the moment they find the records, their expressions shifting from skepticism to shock. The party dissolves into chaos. People are leaving rapidly, not wanting to be associated with Brielle or potential fraud charges. Business associates are literally running away. The extended family members stand frozen, not sure what to do. Mom approaches the stage. Alpha, is this real? It's real, Mom. Grandma left me the building. Brielle has been lying to all of us for 3 years. Dad is reading the documents Harold gave him, his hands shaking. The mortgage. If she doesn't own the building, that's fraud. Federal fraud, Harold confirms. The bank will want the full $800,000 back immediately, plus penalties. Brielle finally finds her voice. You're destroying me. You're destroying your own sister. No, I say quietly. You destroyed yourself. I'm just making sure everyone knows about it. Brielle turns to our parents. Don't let her do this. Make her stop. But they're staring at her like they don't recognize her. All the lies, all the manipulation, suddenly visible in sharp relief. The party ends in complete disaster. Within 20 minutes, the courtyard is empty except for me, Harold, Brielle, and our parents. The caterers are packing up quietly, uncomfortable witnesses to a family implosion. Brielle sits on one of the white chairs she made me arrange, her head in her hands. Mom and Dad stand between us, literally and figuratively, not sure which daughter to approach. How long? Dad finally asks me. How long have you known? About the building? 1 week. Grandma left me a letter with the trust attorney's contact information. I only found it recently. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have believed me? I look at both of them. You didn't believe me when I showed you evidence of Brielle sabotaging my career. You didn't believe me when I told you she was destroying my life. You took her side every single time. Why would this have been different? Mom is crying. We had no idea. How could we not have seen it? Because you saw what you wanted to see, I say, not unkindly. Brielle was successful and confident and everything you wanted in a daughter. I was just the freelancer who never quite measured up. Brielle lifts her head. Her mascara is running, her perfect makeup destroyed. What happens now? That's up to the bank and the DA, I say. But you'll probably have to pay back the full mortgage amount, $800,000. And there might be criminal charges. I don't have that kind of money. Then you'll lose everything. Your other properties, your company, everything. She looks at me with pure hatred. You're enjoying this. No, I say honestly. I'm not. I just wanted you to stop hurting me. This is the only way that happens. Harold checks his watch. The bank's legal team will contact you on Monday morning, Brielle. I recommend you get a lawyer before then. A good one. Brielle stands up, unsteady on her heels. She looks at our parents. Are you just going to stand there? Are you going to let her destroy me? Dad's voice is broken. Did you really do all those things? Sabotage her clients? Post lies about her online? Brielle doesn't answer. The silence is answer enough. Mom takes a step toward me. Alpha, I'm so sorry. We should have believed you. We should have protected you. Yes. I say simply. You should have. I leave them there in the courtyard, the party decorations looking absurd in the aftermath. Harold walks with me to my car. That was quite something, he says. Did I do the right thing? Only you can answer that. But you told the truth, and the truth needed to be told. I drive home, to my apartment in the building I own, and for the first time in weeks, I sleep through the night. Sunday morning, I wake up to 17 missed calls and 43 text messages. Most are from extended family members who were at the party, asking for my side of the story. A few are from real estate professionals wanting to confirm what happened. 2 are from journalists who somehow got my number. I ignore all of them except one, a text from Tracy, Brielle's bookkeeper. Alpha, I quit this morning. I can't work for someone who's been committing fraud. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. If you need help managing the building going forward, I'd love to talk. You were always kind to me, even when Brielle was making you clean toilets. I text back. Let's talk this week. I'll need help getting everything organized. At noon, Mom and Dad show up at my door. They look like they haven't slept. Can we come in? Mom asks. I let them in. We sit in my living room, the same one where I sat 2 weeks ago thinking I was about to be homeless. We spent all night reading the documents, Dad says. Everything Harold gave us, everything we could find online, it's all true. The building is yours. The trust was real. Brielle has been. He can't finish the sentence. Committing fraud. I finish for him. Yeah. Mom is twisting a tissue in her hands. We failed you. We believed Brielle's lies. We let her manipulate us into thinking you were the problem. Alpha, I don't know how to apologize for that. I don't either, Dad adds. We're supposed to protect our children, both of them, and we didn't protect you. I don't make it easy for them. I don't say it's okay, because it's not. They sided with Brielle at every turn. They were ready to watch me be evicted, fired, destroyed, and they thought it was for my own good. What do you want me to say? I ask. Nothing, Mom says. We don't deserve forgiveness. We just wanted you to know that we see the truth now. We see what Brielle did, what she is. And we're going to make it right, Dad adds, however we can. You can't make it right, I say. You can't give me back the 3 weeks I spent thinking I was going to be homeless. You can't restore the client relationships Brielle destroyed. You can't undo telling me I should be grateful she was tripling my rent. They both nod, accepting this. But, I continue, you can start by believing me from now on, and by not making excuses for Brielle anymore. She needs to face the consequences of what she did. We won't interfere, Dad promises. If there are criminal charges, we won't try to protect her. She needs to own this. They leave an hour later. It's not reconciliation, but it's a start. Monday morning, I meet with Harold and Tracy at his office. We're reorganizing everything. The building needs a new property management structure. The tenants need to understand what happened. The escrow accounts need to be properly transferred. At 10:30, Harold gets a call. He listens, makes notes, then hangs up. That was the bank. They contacted Brielle this morning. She admitted to the fraud immediately, probably hoping cooperation would help. They're demanding full repayment of the $800,000 within 30 days. They're also filing a civil suit and working with the DA on criminal charges. What will happen to her? Best case? She loses everything financially but avoids prison time. Worst case? 5 to 10 years for bank fraud. It depends on the DA and how the case proceeds. Tracy adds, I have copies of all the financial records from the property management company. Brielle kept everything digital and I had access. If the DA needs evidence, I can provide it. Over the next 2 weeks, things move quickly. Brielle's legitimate properties go up for sale immediately, but she owes more on them than they're worth in a quick sale. Her property management company closes. The 3 employees, Tracy, Kyle, and Emma, all quit before they could be laid off. The local real estate community distances itself entirely. The landlord Facebook group where Brielle posted about me quietly removes her as a member. Several landlords send me apologetic messages, saying they wish they'd fact-checked before believing her post. My former clients reach out one by one. Velocity Creative offers to reinstate my contract with a raise. Design Hub sends a formal apology and wants to discuss new projects. Within a month, my income is back to what it was before Brielle's sabotage campaign, plus the new clients I attract when the story makes local business news. The local press covers the fraud case extensively. Local property manager, charged with bank fraud. Sister discovers she actually owns building she was being evicted from. The stories paint Brielle as a cautionary tale, and me as a victim who fought back. I'm offered interview requests, but I decline all of them. I don't need publicity. I just need peace. 6 weeks after the party, the DA formally charges Brielle with bank fraud and filing false police reports. The false reports charge relates to her attempt to frame me for theft. Prosecutors found evidence on her laptop that she'd fabricated the bank login attempts from my IP address. She pleads guilty to all charges as part of a deal. 3 years in prison, 5 years probation, restitution of the full $800,000, which she'll be paying off for the rest of her life. Mom and Dad attend the sentencing. They don't ask me to come, understanding that I need distance. Afterward, Mom calls. She looked so small in that courtroom, like a stranger. That's who she always was, I say. You just didn't want to see it. I know. We're in therapy now, your father and I, trying to understand how we missed it, how we failed you both. Good. Can we see you sometime? Just to talk? Maybe. Not yet. We'll wait, she says. However long it takes. I hire Tracy as the building manager. She's good at it, competent and honest. The tenants love her. I give each tenant the 1-year rent refund I promised, taken from the escrow account. After refunds and legal fees, I'm left with $250,000, plus a building worth over $3 million. I'm not just financially stable, I'm wealthy. I rebuild my design business carefully, being selective about clients. I raise my rates. I hire an assistant. I move out of the apartment that holds too many painful memories and into a beautiful condo across town that I buy with cash. The building on Maple Street remains my investment property. Tracy manages it. The tenants stay. It generates steady income without me having to think about it. 8 months after the party, I get a letter from Brielle. It's forwarded from my old apartment, which has a new tenant now. The return address is the Women's Correctional Facility where she's serving her sentence. I almost throw it away without opening it, but curiosity wins. The letter is 2 pages, handwritten. Alpha, I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't deserve it. I'm writing this because my therapist here says I need to acknowledge what I did, for my own recovery if nothing else. I was jealous of you. I know that sounds crazy since I was the successful one, but it's true. You were always Grandma's favorite. You were the one she connected with, the creative one, the sensitive one. I got her money, but you got her love. When she sold me the building, I thought finally she was choosing me. Finally I had something that was mine, that proved I was the successful one. I poured everything into that building, made it my identity. When you moved in, I felt generous, like I was helping you. But then I started resenting how easy it seemed for you. Your creative work, your friendships, your ability to just be yourself. I had to perform constantly. Be perfect. Prove my worth. The rent increase was supposed to make you leave, so I wouldn't have to compare myself to you anymore. When you couldn't pay, when you struggled, I liked it. I'm ashamed to admit that, but it's true. I liked watching you struggle because it made me feel powerful, and then I couldn't stop. Every time you tried to fight back, I escalated. It became this game where I had to win completely. I had to destroy you to prove I was the better sister. I didn't know about the trust. I didn't know Grandma had given you the building. When I found out at the party, my first thought wasn't shame or regret. It was rage. Even from the grave, Grandma chose you. But she was right to choose you. You're the better person. You always were. I'm getting help now. Real help. Understanding why I need to hurt people to feel good about myself. It's going to take years, and I'll be working on it long after I get out of prison. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Just wanted you to know that I see now what I did to you. And I'm sorry. Truly, deeply sorry. Brielle. I read the letter twice. Then I fold it carefully and put it in a drawer. Maybe someday I'll respond. Maybe not. That's for future me to decide. Right now, I'm focused on building the life Grandma wanted for me. 6 months later, I'm standing in my grandmother's garden. Well, what was her garden? The house sold 9 months ago to a young family, but they've maintained the roses she loved so much. I asked if I could visit, just once, to say goodbye properly. They were kind about it. I touch the petals of a yellow rose, Grandma's favorite variety. I think about the letter she left me, the trust, the building, everything she planned to protect me. You knew, I say out loud to the garden to her memory. You knew exactly what would happen. I like to think she can hear me somehow. That wherever she is, she knows her plan worked. That justice came, just like she promised in her letter. The truth is, this whole experience taught me things I never wanted to learn but needed to know. I learned that cruelty often comes from people who feel small inside, who need to hurt others to feel powerful. I learned that family love isn't automatic or unconditional. It has to be earned and maintained through honesty and respect. I learned that fighting back doesn't mean lowering yourself to someone else's level. It means standing firm in the truth, even when it's terrifying, even when everyone tells you you're wrong, even when your own parents side against you. I learned that sometimes the people who are supposed to protect you won't, and you have to protect yourself. Most importantly, I learned that patience isn't weakness. Grandma could have exposed Brielle years ago, but she waited. She let Brielle build her empire of lies, knowing it would eventually collapse under its own weight. She gave me the tools to defend myself and trusted that I'd use them when the time was right. Justice doesn't always come quickly, Grandma wrote, and it doesn't always come easy, but it does come. She was right. Brielle has 2 more years left on her sentence. Our parents visit her monthly and write to her weekly, trying to maintain some connection. They've invited me to join them. I haven't yet, but I don't rule it out for the future. Healing takes time. Mom and Dad and I have family therapy twice a month. It's awkward and painful and necessary. We're learning how to be honest with each other, how to see each other clearly instead of through the distorted lens of expectations and assumptions. The building on Maple Street is thriving. Tracy is an excellent manager. The tenants are happy. It generates income that I invest wisely, building the financial security Grandma wanted me to have. My design business is more successful than ever. I work with clients I respect on projects I care about. I set boundaries. I charge what I'm worth. I learned that lesson the hard way. Never let anyone convince you you should be grateful for less than you deserve. I'm dating someone now, a kind man named Patrick, who teaches history at the community college. He knows the whole story. He's never met Brielle and probably never will. He tells me I'm brave. I tell him I'm just stubborn. 3 months ago, I started volunteering with a local nonprofit that helps people facing housing discrimination and landlord abuse. I know what it's like to be blacklisted, to feel powerless against someone who controls your housing. I use my experience and resources to help others fight back. Grandma would like that. She always said that surviving something difficult obligates you to help others survive it too. I'm not the same person I was a year ago. That Alpha was scared, uncertain, willing to accept crumbs and call it enough. This Alpha knows what she's worth, knows her boundaries, knows that standing up for yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. As I leave the garden, the young family who owns the house now waves from the porch. Their daughter, maybe 5 years old, is playing in the yard. "Did you find what you needed?" the mother calls. "Yes," I say. "Thank you." I drive away, past the neighborhood where I grew up, past the building on Maple Street, toward my condo and my life and my future. The past doesn't define me anymore. It informed me, taught me, made me stronger, but it doesn't own me. That's its own kind of freedom, the kind Grandma wanted for me all along. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to stand up to someone in your own family who was hurting you? How did you find the courage to fight back when everyone else was on their side? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. Sometimes knowing we're not alone in these struggles makes all the difference. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button. It helps more people find these stories and know they're not alone. And if you want to hear more stories about overcoming betrayal, fighting back against injustice, and finding your strength when everything seems hopeless, subscribe to this channel. I share new stories every week. Please share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Someone who's being told they should be grateful for mistreatment. Someone who's standing up to a difficult family member. Someone who needs to know that justice really does come, even when it takes time. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope it gave you something to think about, or helped you feel less alone, or inspired you to stand firm in your own truth. Take care of yourselves, and remember, you're worth more than anyone who tries to diminish you will ever admit. Don't let them convince you otherwise.